What is up? The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're being hit with some surprises, and with surprises, nobody saw them coming, right? Most notably with injuries. You guys have had really good luck so far, but over this last week, injuries have really started to mount. And with full swing of things happening in training camp, you had your Friday Night Lights practice last night. What a cool tradition as Pittsburgh Steelers fans that you guys got to enjoy. And things got a little chippy during practice. I think that's only natural. Finally, full pads are on, and these players are looking to impress in front of an audience. Finally, fans, you're always worried about injuries as players return to a full football schedule. You've been pretty lucky so far. Let me just cut to the chase here. And one player in particular is third-year cornerback Corey Trice Jr. He's gone through a lot of injury problems already in his short career as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think you guys know this already because in 2023, this is a guy that missed his entire rookie season with a knee injury, I believe. And I also believe that it happened during training camp. And then last year, he missed some time with a hamstring injury. I think this injury is significant because finally you guys have a really robust cornerback room, and this depth is so important in case a player goes down. And also Corey Trice, he was battling to make this 53-man roster. Super significant. He missed some time last year in 2024 with a hamstring injury, and now it's exactly the same problem. And it hasn't really been clarified how significant the injury is. But the thing is, you guys know with hamstring injuries, sometimes they're week to week. Sometimes they are months. And with him fighting hard to make the roster, I think this is just really sad. And the Steelers aren't really relying on him heavily. They brought in two new corners, Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, just beautiful additions. And then you have Joey Porter Jr. being a starter on the outside. Unfortunately, I'm going to get to Joey Porter Jr. in just a minute. But on top of this, there's a really significant injury that it's at the forefront. It doesn't really look that significant, but I think it really moves the needle. Offensive lineman Calvin Anderson. He went down with a lower body injury in last night's practice. That's straight from Mike Tomlin. And word is that he actually slipped, and athletic trainers were all over him. So kind of looking at this, these three corners, they're likely going to be on the field, and really every play, it's going to kind of make it hard for a guy like Trice to get a lot of playing time. But this was also a player that might be used in different packages, maybe in the dime. But this isn't a player that's going to be relied on to play against receivers on the outside. So once again, it's a depth hit. He looked good at times last year. He even sealed the victory for the Steelers during a Week 2 win over the Denver Broncos. He played in 6 games, recorded 1 pick, 21 total tackles, along with 2 pass breakups. So let's get to the more significant injury in your eyes, probably. That's Joey Porter Jr. He didn't practice at all. He showed up in street clothes, which was really surprising because you didn't hear anything about it on Thursdays. So there's not really a word how this injury cropped up. And Joey Porter Jr., he talked after practice that it was actually a hand injury. So really hard to determine when this injury occurred. But listening to Coach Mike Tomlin, he didn't seem too worried about it. I don't think we should be too concerned, but it's really significant when you have a main player with a public practice that doesn't even practice at all. So I think one of the reasons that this Anderson injury is significant because the offensive line, it is starting to really get banged up. You've got left guard Isaac Seumalo. He didn't participate in any team action. And left tackle Broderick Jones, that's a recent injury. He only did 7 shots, and then he sat out for the rest of practice. And he's actually battling a growing injury. So now you're looking at Jones limited. You're looking at Anderson out. Dylan Cook is a guy that's going to finish practice, I guess. And really one of the reasons that this Anderson injury is so significant is because kind of some continuity, kind of some things happening in training camp. You've got the offensive line getting really thin, and this injury to Anderson is actually a blow because he's the guy that's been filling in for Broderick Jones. Jones has been missing time over the last few practices. I just talked about that. So behind them, you pretty much have Dylan Cook and Gareth Warren as the main options at offensive tackle behind Jones and Fatanu. And I don't know about you guys. Those aren't two guys that I want to see in the starting lineup during the regular season. So I don't want to see them in the starting lineup during training camp. It just doesn't really help. Joey Porter Jr. sat out practice in full attendance in street clothes. He said that he's day-to-day with what Porter described as a hand injury. Kind of some other injuries of note here to talk through. Let me kind of get to the report here for you guys. Joey Porter Jr., we covered him. Center Ryan McCollum, he missed some practice time last week, didn't practice on Friday. Isaac Seumalo, as you guys know, he was limited for really the second day in a row with the growing injury. He was just activated off the NFI list yesterday. Hasn't yet returned to full practice. He's been limited. It's a positive that he's been able to return to practice. You've got fullback, tight end, DJ Thomas Jones. He didn't practice on Friday. He was just carted during Sunday's practice. Third practice now that Thomas Jones has missed. You've got, oh man, I can't pronounce this dude's name. You guys give me some grace. Asizi Otamao. Maybe I got close. He didn't practice. Dean Lowry, that's significant as a defensive lineman. You've got two other defensive linemen down. Both of these guys are dealing with knee injuries suffered during practice on Wednesday. Wednesday was a bad day for defensive tackles because Keanu Benton, he didn't see reps in the second half of practice, and it's kind of unknown if that was injury related or if it was just to manage his reps. But you guys, I try to be positive all the time. Sorry to give you some bad news. I can give you a little bit of positive, though. This offense is really starting to hum in training camp, and most notably, Will Howard. He's really starting to look like the real deal. He's starting to really do very well in practice. He's starting to ball. And this is kind of how the narrative is shifting a little bit. If you have a guy like Will Howard that's starting to really ball out in practice, is starting to really get a lot of reps, now the talk starts to change past Aaron Rodgers. Maybe this is a guy that can really develop into a future starting quarterback. Even though this roster is built absolutely to win now, so many additions. Jonnu Smith is looking like he's going to be a stud. His yak ability, his size. You're even looking at practice, crazy enough, that you have them lining up 4 tight ends as part of the offensive package. I don't think you want to see that on a regular basis in the regular season, but I think it really shows how sold out that Arthur Smith is to run at least 12 personnel. I don't know if you're going to get 14 personnel, but definitely 12 personnel, multiple tight ends, running patterns, being an extra blocker. Jonnu Smith really going to be an adept at receiving the ball from Aaron Rodgers, and it's really going to give him yet another safety blanket to make this, palatable for him. Aaron Rodgers is talking about that he doesn't fully he's not fully acquainted with the offense yet because, he's in different packages. He's calling plays, and it's just a different nomenclature for him. I'm fully aware that he is going to pick that up really quickly. But yes, please, let's not have 4 tight ends out on the field. That greatly statistically lowers the efficiency of the offense. But yeah, I respect him really showing that he's going to use multiple tight end personnel. I think it's the right thing to do with what you guys have on this team, and appreciate you guys being here as this channel grows. I'll continue to be here on the daily with Pittsburgh Steelers news from kind of an outsider's view, a non-fan view, even though that the more that I cover your team, I am becoming a fan. So we'll talk soon. I'll see you tomorrow, and enjoy training camp. See ya.